Good morning, everyone. Hello there, daughter mine.
Hello.
You sound stuffy.
Do I sound stuffy?
Just the way you said that, you sounded a little stuffy.
That's how me and my siblings always say hello on the phone. Hello? Hello?
Because you're all weird.
I do not have coffee today. That's what I left a minute ago to go check to see if I had a can of coffee left. I am out of the, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch coffee.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, so we got to get more coffee. But I do have, can anybody guess what giant jug of juice I'm about to pull up from the background?
Sunny Delight.
Incorrect. Hawaiian Punch.
Mm-hmm.
This crossword is hard.
Well, it's 10:15.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I said this crossword is hard.
I picked another moderate one. The random one it pulled up was a hard one, and I said, no, we had trouble with the moderate last week, so I'm not going to put a hard one up there.
Maybe I am just an uneducated woman. I don't know any words. There's a lot of 3-letter words that I'm like, I can think of a longer word for this, but 3 letters? What?
We figured out last week that these crossword people are not the best constructors.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to get ahead of Ronald. But I don't think that's going to happen. Oh no. Nope. We might as well start. I'm sitting here looking at the puzzle like something's going to come to me, and it's not.
I just want to get my last word in because I realized what one of those was.
Well, good for you.
All right. Oh, I should probably pull up Instagram.
Yes,
I knew
you
I was
should.
reading something. Let's close these because I no longer need them. Instagram.
Oh no.
Create live video. What is this? Coffee Klatsch 35?
35, please. It's like 67 or something.
Yeah, that's what our label says. Where's my hashtag 67? Hashtag is so much more fun to say than pound, even though that is the pound symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, get my stream key. Instagram. Paste my stream key, save the changes. Waiting for the preview to show up. Okay, we are going live in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's Coffee Klatsch. Welcome to our YouTube viewers and welcome to our Instagram viewers over on Maya Mindy's Instagram feed. We are happy to have you. If you have never been here before, we talk about everything and nothing. We are here to keep you company. We are your audio ambiance. We are your background sound. We are here to accompany you as you do your mindless data entry if you work from home, as you take care of the kids because you haven't heard an adult voice all day.
As you're driving to go ask your father to pay for his ex-wife's medical bills because he got married to some crazy lady who doesn't want to pay her bills and he's a punk. Yeah, that's right. I watched the show.
Yes, you watched it. And
hello, Andy.
As you're doing laundry, but especially you, Ronica, special message for you. Now, I know you think everything's okay. Okay, you used your powers. You went to the evil mansion. You got past all the monsters. You found the endless purse that would help you pay your back taxes. But there's still 120 pages left in your story, ma'am. So something else is going to happen. So I just want you to have those spells ready. Okay.
I just hope she's okay.
She's okay. She's dating a wraith.
Okay. Is that okay?
Well, he's protecting her.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But she still needs to watch her back because the wraith's mama might be evil.
So not okay. Mother-in-laws, they'll get you every time.
Hello, everyone. Before we get started, first off, since we are Coffee Klatsch, we have to mention our food. I am drinking instant Cafe Bustelo with a scoop of my mushroom coffee in it because your sister keeps sending me mushroom coffee. Yes, I like them together. A spoonful of sugar and some pistachio latte creamer.
I was like on board until this.
Excuse me. I got the pistachio latte creamer because your father likes pistachio cake, and so I thought pistachio latte creamer might be interesting. It's a limited edition flavor from International, whatever that brand is.
The creamer, yeah.
They don't need to make it permanent.
Ooh.
It's not terrible, but it's no blueberry cobbler from Great Value.
You heard it here, folks. Keep getting your blueberry cobbler.
It's no Italian sweet cream Coffee Mate. It is no salted caramel mocha from Aldi.
Ooh. Y'all heard it here first. Skip on the pistachio.
Skip on the pistachio. I'm drinking it because that's the only creamer I've got, but
I am. My friend Andy in the Instagram said that she likes the pistachio creamer. Oh no!
Oh no! I've been mean. I'm so sorry.
People can like what they like.
You like.
I don't like pistachio. Period.
You like what you like.
I am as per usual drinking a giant jug of juice. Today it is Hawaiian Punch. It is fruit juicy red flavor. It's red flavor. Red flavor Hawaiian Punch.
Red is not a flavor.
It's red flavor. And
I am also having a ham and cheese sandwich. And I am having some grape tomatoes, which are bigger than cherry tomatoes, but also cheaper than cherry tomatoes. And strawberries, because strawberries are in season.
Yes, I've been getting strawberries at the market basically every week.
Yes, strawberry season is short, so you get them now. At least short in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of June, strawberries are going to taste like trash, so get them now while you can.
Ooh, and if anybody wants to join in the crossword, I'm going to throw that back on the banner because Ronald is like dominating. I was doing okay for a little bit, but here's the tag at the bottom. We've got a crossword that goes on in the background. So we will periodically, pick it up. It's a free website. You just hop in and solve some words. We've got a few left.
But I keep an eye on it, so as soon as we fill this one up, I will start another one right up. So
yeah, and it'll be the same website. It's the same website every single week, so you can just hop in and solve away.
Also, before we get started on our Yarny thoughts, I need to apologize. And since Ronald is the only representative of the Heart Board Games group here, I am apologizing directly to him.
What happened?
They moved the gaming to Tuesday, right?
The
BGA digital gaming to Tuesday. So yeah. That's a good day for me because your father gets off late on Tuesdays. But I made the mistake for the second week in a row of jumping into the last game of the night thinking, oh, it's 10 o'clock. We'll be done by 10:30 when he walks in the door. No, we didn't finish that game till 11:45. And I couldn't, I had to mute my microphone, and your father comes in and his car got hit on the way back from work.
Is he okay?
He's okay. But okay. I'll talk more about that in life updates. But
burying the lead.
He's telling me stuff in my ear. I've got my headphones on, trying to listen to them explaining this game to me. I'm randomly clicking buttons because I already know I've played this game before, and I know I'm not going to understand it. So whatever explanation you're going to give me is going to be wasted. So I'm just clicking buttons. And I finally had to try to go in there and say, I'm sorry, I'm not talking, but my husband's over here describing a car wreck, and but I need to just not jump into the last game of the night. If it's 10 o'clock and they're starting up another game, I should probably say goodbye. We're not going to get done. Yes, I know you were lost. I wanted to make comments so much, but my husband was over here talking. And I have to pay attention to him when he comes home because we get that's a little bit of time we get together during the day. It's like 10:30 to midnight. So I need to give that to him. And so I felt bad that I had headphones, but so I still tried to talk to him while we were watching TV. You know how it is when we play on Sundays. You can hear our TV.
Yeah, we do. And we'll be like quoting the commercials that are showing up on TV, or like, oh my goodness, she's going to talk to him. I thought they were breaking up.
But I wouldn't do that I'm the only girl in the room with iHeart Board Games, so I'm not going to be rude or anything. So I was trying to keep up, but my attention was divided. So I will try not to do that in future.
Just hop into an earlier game.
Well, I did play with them earlier, but then I was having fun, and I thought we'd finish by 10:30.
Ticket to Ride. It's a quick 11-minute game.
Yeah, whatever. Just like 6 minutes is a 6-minute game, but
exactly. Whoever times these games, we need to have a talk with them, because that is like my favorite running joke, that Ticket to Ride is an 11-minute game. That's amazing. Okay. Are we ready to move into Yarny Crafty Thoughts?
Yes. You start talking about your. You know what? I can go ahead and get my stuff out of the way because I have almost nothing again this week.
I also have almost nothing. I have like exactly nothing. I have not a finished project. Not a single one.
Not a single one.
Not a single one. I have a whip. I have 2 whips actually.
I was hoping you'd have something so I could get a couple more bites of this sandwich. But
no, I just wanted to pretend to be professional, Ari. No, I just threw on a shirt because I was like, I overslept. I'm running late. Let me throw something on.
My only related Yarny Crafty is, let's see.
Ooh, what you got?
My shirt.
Your shirt! Yay! Yeah, I got her a shirt for Mother's Day, and it took, I couldn't even tell that you were wearing it.
I got her a shirt for Mother's Day. It says crochet all day unless it's weaving in ends.
And it's like one of those retro, like, advertisement dealy bobs. You can always tilt your camera down instead of having to hop up out of your chair.
No, I can't. I could, but I could, but I can't.
There you go. See, a nice, beautiful view.
Yes.
I thought you would like that one.
Cute. Okay, take myself out of here. So you have nothing to show?
I mean, I can show my whips, and I can explain why I have nothing to show.
Well, show your whips while I get a couple bites at least.
Okay. So I found a pattern. Well, I found a pattern. I've been looking at this pattern forever, and I am just now working on it. But I found a pattern for a flail, a crochet flail. Is it a flail or is it a morning star? If it's on a chain, is it a flail or a morning star? I feel like it's called a morning star. It's with the spiky ball. And so I've got the handle with the chain, which is fairly sturdy. I stuffed it like so stiff. So it's like fairly sturdy. And then the way that they did it is very interesting. You start with the spike and then you change colors to do the ball. And then I know it kind of looks like a nipple, so I'm going to like hold it like this. But you start with the spike and then you do the ball and then you end with another spike and then you surface crochet the other 3 spikes onto it, which I thought was very interesting. I just need to finish it. But, as per usual, I started one project and was like, actually, what if I dive headfirst into a secondary project that I really, really want to do? So your girl is learning C2C crochet.
Oh no!
I don't know why I decided I needed to do this. Let's see. I'm gonna hold up the bit that I have.
I tried to learn that when I was going through my phase of doing Afghans. Which basically is an Afghan with a picture on it. And a lot of people like to use C2C crochet for that. I'm like, I'm sorry, no. That's too confusing for me.
I figured it out. I'm also using Stitch Fiddle, which helps. And I paid the like $5 so that Stitch Fiddle will write out the pattern for me, which is not like a lot, but it's like, it'll say like, this many squares of this, this many squares of this, this many squares of this. So I'm going to hold up what I have. Keep in mind, this is my 3rd try because I had to rip it out 3 times because I hate watching YouTube videos of how to crochet stuff, but I just had to, like, on the 3rd try, I finally was like, let me sit down, put this girl on 1.5 times speed and understand how to do these stitches so I don't mess it up. Let me actually pay attention to the words that she's saying. So this is my 3rd try. I started this yesterday. I'm going to hold up what I have so far, and I want you guys to take a guess at what I am working on right now. So this is the bottom corner. Also, I got to figure out how to block stuff. We don't block in this house, and now I got to figure out how to block stuff. What do we think? What do we think I'm making?
Well, it looks like a domino.
No, it is not the domino. It's not the newspaper. It is not the cow. Ari in the chat. Any other guesses? Oh, Ronald said a maze. Not quite. I know we don't block in this house, but I need this to be perfectly square.
I have no idea because it just looks like a QR code. I can't.
It is a QR code.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, the person in the Instagram got it. It's a QR code. Thank you. Yeah, it's a QR code. So this is going to be a QR code that leads to, I'm making it. It's going to, it's a triangle. It's going to be, I'm going to finish off the square. But it is a QR code. So I'm making that and then I'm going to hang that up in my markets because I am constantly running out of business cards. And so I'm crocheting a QR code that I can hang up at my markets so people can scan my QR code and there will be all of my contact information, the stuff to get to my Etsy, the link to the coffee Klatsch, all of that, so they can scan my little crochet QR code and it'll take them to all this stuff.
Cute.
Right?
I can't do C2C because that involves too much thinking.
It is taking a lot of focus. You can unbig me now. We can fix this. But it is taking a lot of focus.
I had you big so you wouldn't see me biting into the tomato.
Sorry. I feel weird when I'm all the way up on the screen. But yeah, it's taking a lot of, because what I end up doing, especially now that I'm further along. Also, we're not going to talk about the back because I'm not weaving in ends. So it's just,
well, nobody, it's not going to be a blanket on somebody's lap that their toes are going to get stuck in, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I might take I've got some like fleece, and so I think I might just like sew some fleece onto the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I ended up doing a lot is I'll look at the pattern and it'll say like 4 background color, 2 solid color, and then background color, solid color. And so I'll be like 4 and then count 1, 2, and then 4, and then like looking to make sure that I'm lining up correctly. I had to take it out a couple times, but or take out like a couple stitches, but so far it's going pretty smoothly. It just gets harder as it gets bigger because there's just longer lines of 4, 2, 1, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2. So, but it's going okay. It is going all right. I am about halfway through because it's 29. It's 29 by 29, and I think I'm on row. Let's see. I've got my stitch fiddle up on the side. I'm on row 20. Unless I misclick somewhere, I'm on row 20. Let me count my blocks and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, and I'm started over here. So I'm on row 20. So I've only got 9 rows. Well, I've got 9 rows of increase left, and then I've got to do 29 rows of decrease. Oh. I forgot that I still had to do that part. But yeah. So it's going all right. Hello, Uncle, in the Instagram chat. So that's what I've got. What do I see? I know that you're working on the crossword, but what are you working on?
Well, I'm still working on okay, where are we?
She got her thinking face on. Yeah, well, I started, Ronald, and for the people on Instagram, Ronald saying it's interesting that I worked it diagonally. I started working it just like a normal color work, doing each stitch would be a square. So I do like 4 single crochets in white, and then 2 single crochets in black, and then 1 single crochet white, 1 single crochet black. But they weren't looking square enough for me because the stitches, single crochets don't necessarily look super square, and I wanted it to be very readable. And I was worried that it wouldn't be as readable, and I didn't feel like changing up the like yarn over versus yarn under. I didn't feel like trying to figure any of that out. It was annoying, and I had been kind of wanting to learn corner to corner crochet anyway, but it's like it leads to very square blocks.
And yeah, so if you want your pixels to be pixely,
yeah,
corner to corner is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
The pixels are very pixely.
Because each block is made up of essentially like 3 or 4 double crochets. And so that makes it like a little block.
I was glad I could help, Ronald, just because I am old and you are a baby.
Mother, what have you been working on now that you're done helping?
Okay, I don't have much. I'm going to be honest. All I have is, because the only reason I'm not further on this is because I can't resist trying to use those tension rings. I said I was going to put them down, and then every time I pick up the work, I'm like, let me try this one more time, and then it slows me down, and then I have to, fix my mess, and so it's like I've already got. I can show you all the errors. You want to see those? Because I've got. I'm going to embiggen myself for a second.
Okay.
You can see there is, which on this side, it's not wrong. So I don't know why there's an extra green right there.
Oh. I mean, it's just a single one.
And on this side, I'm fine, right? But on this side, somehow I've managed to do
another extra green. What?
So, and then over on...
Did you just yarn over with the wrong color?
Over on this half, I'm perfect over here. See?
Uh-huh.
Over here, I messed up on the bottom part. But you know what? I'm not fixing none of them.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
Nary a one.
It's a feature.
Because it's a feature. And honestly, the green side is the side that's supposed to be the front side of the blanket. Although, once you're using a blanket,
It's whatever.
But this is supposed to be the front side, and the only error on this side is that one little extra green.
Mm-hmm.
All the other errors are showing on this back side here, on this back side here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what I got.
I mean, it's looking good so far.
A little bit more than it was before, but I am just going to try to remind myself that because I've got 3 more rows before I start doing the actual design.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, last week I said, this is my last row, and I start doing the chart. Then I forgot, when I look at the chart, there's still 7 more plain rows before I do actual design.
Okay.
But I am actually doing the chart. And yeah. And I've kind of got in my head after talking to V on Sunday that I may go back and either watch Bridgerton, the seasons that I didn't watch. Yeah. Because I'm kind of interested in the current season, because, we've discussed this before. The current season is Penelope, and I mean, we're still on Yarny stuff, but just quick sidebar. We've got Penelope is this season. When we
is one of the people,
when we watched season 1 together, I can't speak for you, but for myself, the longer I got away from Bridgerton, the less I really cared about the main hero and heroine of season 1. I really was just interested in Penelope. And then
Penelope and the other friend.
Yeah, and then they brought Queen Charlotte as the next season. And then they brought the brother as the season after that, and I didn't watch either of those because I didn't care.
No.
And now we've got Penelope's season, but V and Sydney are telling me, well, you really kind of got to watch them because there was a falling out with some of the side characters and da-da-da. And so it's like, ugh. So I've just about got myself to where I'm going to go ahead and go back and watch them.
That's going to be you by yourself. I am not joining in.
Oh yeah, I'm not planning to try to drag y'all into it. Normally, we'll get to that later. But basically, all of this is to say that I have. You know how hard it is to get myself to watch something new. That's why I've been watching a lot of random YouTube videos,
reality,
because it's hard to get myself to jump into something new and get myself invested. So I've just about talked myself into, okay, I'm going to watch a movie or I'm going to watch something. And because when I watched, what was I watching? I watched some movie that your brother had recommended to me like 2 years ago, and I finally got around to watching it. And I got a lot of crocheting done during that movie.
While you're watching the movie,
if I watch something a little more long form, that I will get a lot of crocheting done. Because a lot of my brain power, okay, I put a new crossword up. A lot of my brain power is taken up trying to find
figuring out what video you want to watch next.
What am I going to watch next? When there is a big long playlist that's just going to keep on going and keep part of my mind invested, then I can go ahead and work on my thing. So I've just given in to myself that I am going to get back into watching more movies or long TV shows with lots of episodes or something, so that I can stop hanging around on YouTube and so I can get some work done. And also try not to jump into what's the word? Video games.
Oh.
Because I have my interests and hobbies fall. I have needlework, which is knitting, crochet, cross stitch. I have coloring books. I have video games, either on my PC or on my mobile device. And I have reading. Okay, so I can't do all of them at the same time. And so it's so hard for me to decide which one am I going to devote my time to. And so I end up on my day off doing a little bit of this, and then I'll do a little bit of this, and I'll do a little bit of, and I'm just scattered. And so, but I really am at the point right now where I'm feeling that I want to finish some of these crochet projects more than I want to play the video games, and more than I want to color and stuff like that. So while I'm feeling that, I need to grab that feeling and get some stuff done.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately it's a hobby, so I don't have to do anything. I always get slightly annoyed when I watch something and it's like, oh, I have to, my book goal for this year is 200 books, so I have to hurry up and read these books. You don't have to do anything. Nobody's paying you to read these books. It's a hobby. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have a
deadline you set on yourself.
Yes, it's a deadline. It's a goal you set for yourself. But ultimately, this is supposed to be relaxing and fun. So if you don't finish it, you don't finish it. But I am at a point where I feel like I want to be able to call myself a knitter. So being a knitter means I need to be able to knit things.
Which you can. Where is this line of thought going?
Well, I mean, to me, if I call myself, like I used to call myself a movie lover, and then I realized I haven't watched movies in a long time. I'm really not a movie fan or a movie aficionado. My knowledge of movies is old. So I can't really call myself a movie fan. It's just what I know it makes sense. I know it makes no sense. But it's time for kindergarten coloring hour. So here's I only did one picture this week. The rest there's a lot of what's left in this book. This is the book that I do. What's left in this book is I have some of the graph pictures, the ones like this, where you don't know what it is until you color the number. So I have about 3 or 4 of those left, I think.
I need to get into my coloring book.
In this book. I have a few more of these really...
Yes, Ronald, thank you for noticing.
These really cartoon ones.
I want you to color that one. I want to see what it looks like. I really like that one. But yes, Ronald.
Well, maybe I'll do it this week.
These are my brand new Five Below specials. They were $5 unbranded Bluetooth headphones in lavender. My other headphones broke. Thank you.
But there's several Christmas ones in here that I'll wait till Christmas time to do, if I'm in a Christmas mood. But the picture I did this week, so all of that is to say that I probably won't finish all the pictures in this book. I will probably finish doing the fairies, because you're interested in seeing the fairies. So I'll probably do fairies. And there's some farm ones in that same style of like the girl on the farm. I already did one of those, so I'll probably finish those. This one is really sloppy. I was shaky and I just could not stay in the lines for some reason.
Oh, it looks good though. Ooh, I love that one. And just in time for Pride, yes. Rainbow.
Yep.
I love that one. That one's very nice.
That one's from the Mosaic Travel coloring book, where it has usually it has the buildings and the monuments and stuff like that. So I think that's my last travel picture in this book. No, there's one more. There's one more travel picture that looks like Russian temples or something. So I'll probably do that one as well.
Okay.
So. And silly me, I was doing these pictures and it was like, which one did I want to show you? Like when you color one picture and I'm doing markers, so it bleeds through to the next page. So
and
like
it covers up. So
like it bled through. So I can't read anything. I can barely read anything over on this side. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Duh. it's the same colors throughout the entire book. So all I have to do is look at the numbers on the back, and it tells me what color I need to do. I'm like, funny. Why am I stressing about this? I'm so silly. But that was the only picture that I did this week, because I also spent some time, one of my evenings after work, looking at yarn and looking at, how we plan more than we knit in this house.
I was at Joann's yesterday and I saw the new rave yarn at Joann's. Also, we're about to go into life updates. So, but I was at Joann's yesterday. I saw the new rave yarn. It looks so good. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. But it is, it's the Big Twist Rave. I saw, what is her name? Alt Knots on YouTube talking about it. And I was like, ooh, I got to go see it. It is so soft. It is so squishy. It is so good. I'm pulling it up because the colors are amazing. Let's see. Where's the one that I was looking at? None of these are the one that I was looking at. This one's okay, I guess. I'll just pull this up and then we can share let me remember how to share my screen on the live stream. I'm pulling up tabs now, so if anybody on Instagram is saying anything, I'm so sorry I cannot see your comments at this very moment. There we go. Share that. And then do this. There we go. Okay, so this is the Big Twist Rave. And look at these colors down here. I really want this one. Yes. I really want this one, and then the black and green, the electric slime.
Very nice.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with them because I have no idea what I'm going to do with them though, because they're not these are not summer yarns. They are these would be nice for making some hats. They would be nice for making a nice sweater or something. Ooh, okay, Joann's, sure.
Now's a good time to get started. Well, you don't sell stuff during the winter though. I was about to say, you don't really do markets in the winter.
Not really. There are very few that I do during the winter. That's more of a what are my words? A restocking time. Yeah. Ooh, make a relaxagon. Ooh, I kind of want to make one.
See, that's what I have been looking at. You're reading my mind, Ronald, because I have this vision for the cruise, because we have to do black and white for the cruise.
Yes.
So I have this vision for the cruise. I have a black dress that I bought from Amazon Essentials several years ago. Very comfortable dress, love it. And it's sleeveless. And yes. I was thinking of making some sort of wrap or shawl or whatever, and I wanted to use a yarn that is a black and white, either ombre or gradient, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at a lot of yarns, and I think it was yesterday, the day before, I spent a lot of time. I spent 2 evenings since we were together last, looking at YouTube videos. I saved a bunch of YouTube tutorial videos because I couldn't find a pattern on Ravelry that I liked. I saved a bunch of YouTube tutorial videos for the kind of shirt that I want. And because I want it to be a little bit more of a structure, the relaxagon, the thing with the collar, that looks almost like a Cuban bowling shirt. So I thought that would look nice over my black dress with my black chunky sandals that I usually take on vacation. So the yarns I was looking at Red Heart has
this
one.
This is the color that Ronald says he has.
Okay, let me get back up. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the color that Ronald says he has.
I'm not a pastel girly, but I think that'll look nice in a shirt. Mm-hmm. But I've been because I was looking at some of the other like newsprint and some of the other ones, and they don't go all the way to white on the other end, number one. And usually they go like black and then gray, which I think I can get away with. But then there's some like creamy something in there, and then almost white, but not quite white. And so, Passionate Kelsey, yeah, I saved one of her videos too, because I'm thinking about, because I think she has a video where it's seamless. One of the shirts is seamless, so I was thinking that I might try that one, because you know me trying to.
Yeah, I've been watching her vlogs recently.
Yeah, I want to get something that's black and white, because you know your father is very strict. When I make him sound like an ogre, people, but my husband is not an ogre. He's really not. But I shouldn't say ogre, because ogre is a good thing. He
is very particular. Yes, he's a particular person.
Just in some things. In other things, he's not particular. In a lot of things, he's not particular at all. But he'll get in his head. That's why I say he has decreed. Because he'll get in his head, you know, for vacation, we're all going to wear this. Because he doesn't ask for a whole lot. See, persnickety makes him sound bad, Ronald. He doesn't. I'm telling you, during the year, he doesn't ask for a lot. There's a lot of husbands who would be appalled at how bad a housewife I am, how bad I am at housework and all this other stuff. You know, like I don't do his laundry, and I haven't done his laundry since almost the beginning of our marriage. He does his own laundry, and I do my own laundry. Whereas other people would be like, "You're the wife, you don't do his laundry." I don't do
our laundry either. He does our laundry.
As soon as the kids got old enough, they start doing their own laundry. I'm not a good housekeeper, but he lets it slide. Okay, so there's a lot of things. So when there's a few things that he asks for particularly, and once a year we get together for a vacation, and I try to just give him whatever he wants during the vacation, because it's once a year, and he pretty much lets stuff slide the rest of the year. So even if he's not happy about it, because I'm sure he would love it if I was one of those housewives like, you know, all of his peers who have the perfect house and do all the laundry and all that other kind of stuff. But I'm not. So he lets it slide. So once a year when he wants something, we go for it. He wants black and white, and he means black and white. So if I pick a yarn that's got black and white and got some beige and cream in there, he's not going to be happy. Because like I pulled out, I thought, oh, well, that one granny square yarn that I bought might do it. Because I'm not trying to make a granny square. I just want to like a variant yarn that's black and whites. But you see this, it's got, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a lot of cream in there.
Yes, it does have a lot of cream.
It has a lot of cream in there. So it's not technically black and white. So this will not do. There is white in there, but it's like at the very center. It's supposed to be at the very center of the square, so it's like the smallest amount. Hobby Lobby Yarn Bee has a yarn called Stripe It, but it's discontinued.
Ooh.
But some people on eBay are selling it. So I might buy it on eBay. But I still have to figure out how much I need.
I found a dress that I think I'm going to try to make myself. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I've got it in Ravelry. But I think I'm going to try to make it. It's just going to take a hot minute. But it says that it uses worsted, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my worsted. But let me pull this up while you are pulling up your yarn stuff. So this is the Moonchild dress. And I'm thinking I can do the top in white and do like black and white stripes going down.
That's
and
a lot
hopefully
of
that
work.
won't look too
You
bad.
got to start now, ma'am.
I do.
And you said it's done in worsted.
Yeah, that's what the tag says here.
Yeah, that'll give you a fighting chance if it's in worsted.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous. And then like she made like a shorter version of it. But I feel like I'm not going to do the black and white stripes at the top because I feel like that would make it look too costumey. But if I do just the white and then, I wasn't going to do black and white stripes going all the way down. I was going to do white at the top and then solid black at the bottom and then like do less and less black stripes going up so it kind of fades.
Yeah. That sounds good.
So we'll see how that works out. But that's the one that I want to do.
But you have a backup just in case, right?
I mean, I'll just buy a black and white dress, honestly, to have something.
My backup is I'm going to wear that black dress and I have a white button down shirt that I can just like tie at the waist and I will and roll up the sleeves and that will be my picture. If I can't,
I'll either buy a black and white dress or I'll wear that black skirt that I wear for everything and then just get a cute white top.
Yep. So I have a backup, but I want to make a top, but I need to start. At the very least, we need to make a pact. We need to start in June because May is almost over. We need to start in June.
June 1st.
And then that will give us at least 3 months to get these things done.
Ronald, are you going to start your Relaxagon in June too?
But I need
Are we doing a crochet along?
Was that dress crochet?
Yes. Yeah. That's crochet.
But I just need to I need to narrow down what yarn I'm going to buy, and I need to narrow down what pattern I'm going to do. That's the thing. Narrowing down the pattern. Because you know me, I can waste a month just trying to look at yarn and patterns.
That's what I did. I think that's why I'm like, I really like the look of this dress. I feel like it'll look okay on me. I have locked it in. That's the one I'm doing. Ooh, Ronald said his stuff for his relaxing guy should be delivered this week. So he's going to start in June too. We're starting in June.
I guess I better pick some yarn.
I guess I need to finish up this QR code so I can use on my black and white yarn. Okay, we have veered way off to the left.
You were supposed to talk about the market.
Yes, I was supposed to talk about markets. So, this past Saturday was the Faye Nectar market, and it was the big like festival market, and it was forecasted like 97% chance of rain.
No.
Rain it did. It rained so bad. So Wayne and I got up. We got there very early, actually. We were like the third person there, which almost never happens. We're usually very late. Ooh, I like that. But she said it's discontinued.
It is, but there's at least 2 sellers selling it on eBay out of their stash. So I might just buy it off of eBay.
I mean, at the way that it looks, though, at that point, you might as well just use some black and white yarn. Like, use yarn.
That was my other thought, was that I might just use black and white yarn. Because you see how it's divided right down the middle, kind of. So that's what I was debating on. And do I want to just use black and white yarn, or do I want to...
But so we get to Faye Nectar super early, and they're like, we are highly discouraging people setting up outside because it's supposed to start pouring, and because of how many people said they're going to be here today, and they're cooking and all kinds of stuff because they opened up their kitchen. Now they're like, we're highly discouraging people being outside because
so they have a kitchen.
Yeah, they have a kitchen now. They're making like Reubens and hot dogs and bratwursts and stuff.
Ooh, I love Reubens. But go ahead.
But they were like, we're highly discouraging people being outside because if it starts pouring today, we will not have the manpower to rescue anybody like we have in the past. So if it starts pouring, it's on your own volition, like to save yourself. And so I'm like, no, I'm okay with being inside. So we set up inside. I actually was set up right beside the kitchen because it was basically because they know that I have to be able to pull people to the back to do henna and face paint. So they tucked me right beside the kitchen. So my table was at the front edge of the kitchen, and then I was the kitchen has like an L-shaped wall, and I was just on the outside of that wall so that people could come back on to the side of that wall to do stuff. And so I've got pictures of my table when we first set up. Let me do my present photos. Okay. Ooh, give me, please. There we go. So this was my table set up that day. I had a ton of stuff on the table. I had witch hat. I only put out one witch hat, and then we when that one did sell.
Almost as much as that lady we watched on YouTube.
Bruh, that lady was a yarn store. She had so much stuff. She could have filled an entire small boutique. It was so much stuff. But so we had I've got the witch hat starting from the right to the left. I got the witch hat. We've got some chickens and bees at the top, and then fish, some more chickens. And this is like, I had already sold like maybe 3 items when I took this picture, but I was like, let me take a picture to remember. And then I've got my little cactuses there, and then
I see your dragon.
Yes, my dragon up at the top was my showstopper item that day. Let's see, is this the direction I want to go? Yes. And then I did my little fish in the bag. They were little bracelet kits. So I did the fish. They were very quick to crochet. And then I put them in little bags with glow in the dark beads, some beads that didn't glow, and one big like fish related bead. So there were like whales and turtles and dolphins, like in all in one bead pack. So I put them in there, and then I used a like stretchy bracelet tie to like I measured off like a foot of it, cut it off, and used that to tie the bags closed. And we were selling them as bracelet kits so that the kids could like make bracelets with the beads that were the gravel down at the bottom. And I think I only had 3 of those, and I think 2 of them sold. And then here's a better shot of this. Like I said, these empty spots here are because people had already bought a couple things. And I think a couple of my plants sold as well. And then you can see the edge of the potion bottles over here, which I think you can see better here. We've got the dragon, which everyone, like, it pulled everyone across the room to come look at the dragon. And people like, and a couple people picked him up, like they didn't realize how big he was, even though like I thought it was kind of clear, like having him draped there, and people still picked him up as like, oh my goodness, this is so big. And I've got my bucket hats, crowns, dice bags, and then I think I have a shot of, yeah, this is the shot that I need. These are the dragon did have a name. Wayne named him, and he named him Ambrosia. So that was Ambrosia the dragon. We've got the dice bag, or not dice bags, the keychains, which the dead fish keychains did a lot better than I thought they were going to. I was afraid that no one was going to buy them. I sold out of my dead fish keychains.
So how many of those did you have?
I had 4, or no, I had 5. I had 3 in the green and 2 in the pastel.
And you sold all of them?
And all of them are gone, yeah. And then there were the butterflies, potion bottles, and bandanas. And then these are, so we've got a few bags over here. We've got 3 bags on one rack. We've got 2 belts over here. There's the yellow one, and the teal one's just tucked behind there. We've got the 3 vests that I've had forever, and I'm selling them at a fairly decent price. They're $20. Because they work up very quickly. And so I was like, I'm okay with selling these for $20. $20, and those are still sitting on my rack. I'm so surprised. I think I need to make some more plus size ones, because I think the people who usually gravitate towards them are plus size people, and they are like, you saw when I tried it on, it was still a little small for me. So I need to make some more like properly plus size ones.
Make some properly plus size ones and wear one while you're there so they can see.
Yeah. That is my plan. I need to make a like crochet outfit that I could wear to my things, but that's gonna be, maybe that's what that dress will be after the market, or after the cruise anyway. And then the blue mesh top that I made, which is plus size, because I made that in my size, because I was trying that on as I was making it. So all of that. I think the next picture is, we can cut here. This is what my table looked like at the end of the night. You see me taking the rack down. The dragon is gone. Like,
you sold the dragon
on the table. Yes, I sold the dragon. Goodness. for $120. The dragon went. It sold to this old lady. I think I've got the picture of her. Let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second, so that I can go into my. Let's see. Where's my downloaded pictures? It's so much harder on the computer than it is on the phone. Because Wayne sent me the picture. Google Instagram? Photos, like I know where the photos are on my phone, and then the folders look so different on the. It looks so different on the computer. Oh well, I don't need to find it. It's fine. But the dragon sold for $120. The blue top that I was just talking about that I made in my size, that was $45. That sold last minute at the end of the night. I sold 2 dice bags. Every single one of my stuffed animals is gone. I have literally no stuffed animals left. So I'm going to have to redo that. While I'm talking about the stuff that sold and how it's going, why don't we make some guesses in the chats? Oh, Ambrosia, we barely knew you. Yeah, I finished him like basically right before that market. Like I put on the wings 2 days before that market. That is when it finished. While I'm going over this stuff, why don't we make some guesses in the chat of how much you think I made that day? Because I was also doing henna and face paint that day. And I
can't even guess.
I'm surprised that it went. Okay, so I can tell you that at the beginning of the night, I counted all of my inventory. On my table, I had $750 worth of inventory. So based on how much inventory you saw left on the table, and also keeping in mind that I was doing face paint and henna, how much do you think that I made? I will tell you at the end of this. The lady that bought the dragon, I was like in the middle of doing.
My guess was 300, but I know I'm low.
Okay, I was in the middle of doing a face paint, and then Wayne I was in the middle of doing henna. You saw that shot of the guy that got the henna on his face. I was in the middle of doing, or the person, sorry, that I got the henna on their face, and Wayne turns around, leads over, and he's like, "The dragon sold." And I'm like, "What?" So that was crazy. But we also had a bunch of friends show up that day because we have another Discord. One of my D&D groups, they started a Discord page for all of kind of our friends that like to hang out in the area. And so I met a lot of people because some of their friends who I had never met before, they everybody just kind of planned to come to this event. And so I saw my good friends, my whole D&D group came. And so we all saw each other, hugged and everything. I got some lavender. One of my friends grows lavender in her yard. So she had a basket of lavender clippings and was giving away lavender to people like a little fairy. It was adorable. And then one of my friends, I love him to death. He got plastered and then he was dressed up like a wizard, and he stood by my table and was like, "Welcome, traveler, come, wouldn't you like to buy a potion or maybe a familiar?" and was just loudly advertising my table. And I was like, I need drunk wizard Caitlin at every event. It was so good. It was so good. So, but we did, even with the rain, it was packed. It rained 3 times and was coming down in buckets. And even with the rain, it was packed. At the end, we did our total count. I had made $980. Yes.
Oh my goodness. You said how? Did you say 950?
980. I was $20 away from breaking 1,000 again.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So half of that went to the cruise money. So Daddy is going to be taking that out of my account so that he can do cruise payments and stuff. And then the other half of that is going towards bills and restocking on yarn. So
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it was great because I was so stressed when I was looking at the weather earlier that week. I was so stressed because I was we really need to make money at this event, and I was expecting to make money, and I had made all these things for this event. I was so stressed, and it was a blowout. It was so good.
Oh my goodness. So good. Oh my goodness.
So that's why great. Yeah, that's why I don't have any more crochet stuff right now, because I am taking a break. I took a 3-day break from crocheting stuff because I was so laser focused on trying to get stuff for that market. And so I took a 3-day break. I played a video game. I just sat. I worked on I started a QR code. I started working on random stuff because I was I have a little bit of time. My next big market isn't until the next big Fae Nectar market isn't until May. And then I've got various, so I don't know, because I do still have Weaverville Tailgate Market today. I don't know what I'm doing because I have next to nothing to bring. Like, I'm going to show up. I've got my face paint. I've got my henna. I don't have anything to put on my table.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I was going to bust. Go ahead.
You'll have to put out your little plant, and you still have your wearables, right?
Yeah. I still have my wearables. So I'm going to sit those. I might just spread those out on the table this time instead of hanging them up. But yeah, I've got that. I've got 2 bandanas left. I've got like maybe 6 keychains left, so I might stick the keychain rack up. But yeah, and I was not gonna bust my ass trying to get ready for this market after doing that big, because I was like exhausted after that market, because I did like, there were a ton of kids that wanted face paint, there were several people that wanted henna, and we got several people that wanted like big henna, like because my large henna is $20. And I did like 4 of those, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, plus all the like little ones in between.
Oh, wow. Don't forget to set aside some money to get those temporary tattoo markers so you can tattoo me on the cruise.
I do need to get that. I keep forgetting, but we've got time. I'm more concerned about making my dress. But yeah, that was that. And now I have to restock. I got some yarn to make a new dragon. So I've got...
You can make a dragon out of that red yarn.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not. No.
A red dragon would be perfect.
Not with that nasty chicken yarn. I want that dragon to be huggable. But I got this for my next dragon, so it's going to be blue. And a new dragon. Yes, she's making she's got to have that showstopper up on top of her thing. Yeah, so I'm going to make a new dragon. I'm going to do blue, and then I'm doing the fur like spine or whatever in this soft pink, which I feel like these will go well together. And then I have, you can't even see it. It's back there, just back here. I have a skein of that ombre perfect phasing or whatever. And so I've got enough to make another giant snake. So those are probably going to be the next 2 things that I work on, because I want to get my showstoppers out of the way. That way I can work on all of the small stuff for the next couple weeks. But I've got a little time, so I'm taking a break and working on flails and QR codes. Cool.
One more thing I wanted to mention before we move into our media consumption is that I finally figured out, you know me, I feel like I can't do things unless I get like a cosign from somebody else that they've done it this way before.
That is okay like this.
Yeah. So like for some reason the other day, I mean this week I was in the mood for a turkey and cranberry sauce sandwich. I don't know why. So I had to look online to see, do people make that? Is that a thing?
That's Thanksgiving food. That's leftover Thanksgiving food. What are you talking about?
So I had to look it up to see if I could do that. So before I did it, because I'm weird. So with this, I spent several days looking at YouTube videos on double knitting to see which ways are the best way to hold the yarn to make yourself, like go faster. And yes. I finally found somebody who did a video who said she did 3 different videos actually. She said, some people hold it this way, and then in the
oop, she froze. Spectrum coming through with the glitches.
You know what? I do it this way. And so I am now doing it her way, and you cannot tell the difference. I started out doing it the proper way at the bottom, and up at the top, I'm doing it her way, and you can't really tell the difference because I was doing it the proper way from like right about here. And then I started doing it the lazy way here.
Yeah, I don't see a difference at all.
You can't tell the difference. Basically, the lazy way is you kind of need to know how to read your knitting, which I do know how to read my knitting, so it's good. But basically, if your stitch, normally you do it, I don't know if I can show it, but normally...
Oh, Spectrum coming through again with the glitches.
What'd you say?
I said Spectrum coming through with the glitches. You were breaking up for a moment.
Oh, yeah. So normally when you purl and you're doing it, you have to kind of take your hand and wrap it around the top to do the purl, right? But this way, you kind of look at your stitch. If your stitch is turned one way, then you can wrap it around and do the purl that way. If the stitch is turned the other way, just drag the yarn. Just drag the yarn.
Okay.
Through. And just whichever way the stitch is turned, because if you drag the yarn through on this side, when you're coming back the other side, then the stitch is going to be turned the opposite way that you're used to. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, because the yarn is twisting around itself, sometimes it's easier to grab the yarn that way. Mm-hmm. Because it's twisted, and sometimes it's easier to do it that way. So just do whichever way. And on the knit section, because when you're coming back this way on the knit section, the ones that you purled on the one side are going to be twisted in the opposite direction than you're used to when you do it on the knit. So normally in the knit, you go into the front. I can't show it, but like if this is a stitch, normally you go in through the front part, but if it's twisted the wrong way, just go in through the back part. It still looks the same when you're done. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really thinking about that.
And has it made you move like faster?
Yeah, it's made it less. I mean, I'm not super fast like you, which your father will definitely point out. Just like he pointed out that Chloe twisted my hair for me this week, and it's like he pointed out that she does better twists than I do, but whatever. He doesn't mean
that's why I always want Chloe to twist my hair.
He doesn't mean it in a mean way, but he just makes observations and he doesn't realize
how it sounds.
He doesn't realize how it sounds. But he's like, because like she was twisting my hair and he came in while she was twisting it. It was like, oh, when you do it, they're big fat twists. Hers are nice and thin. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I'm gonna show up to Sydney and V's housewarming with a bucket of hair gel and a spray bottle and a comb, so Chloe can help me twist my hair.
Rude. You cannot do that.
I mean, I can,
but you shouldn't.
I shouldn't. But I am like, I'm so close to just.
Yeah. I say all the time, I feel like I'm about to do a Britney and just shave all my hair off, which is rude to say because she was going through issues, so I shouldn't compare that to her. But that's how I feel sometimes.
You can say doing a Maya. You can say doing a Maya. That's what I did in 2021.
I'm going through issues. I'm tired of dealing with this stuff. I want to shave it all off my head.
It's just so much hair to deal with. Anyway. Okay,
so we are going to move into our media consumption. But before we do that, let me do a quick little life update, because the title of this week's episode was May was the month of adulting, which it was, because I got a filling and a crown. Mm-hmm. Then this past Monday, I had to go. I spent most of this month gathering everybody's stuff together for passport applications. Mm-hmm. So we went and did 4 passport applications on Monday, which that turned out okay. Because all the places close to us were you wouldn't think that in a small town all around us. I know in other bigger cities they have like passport facilities or whatever that are devoted to doing passports. Around here, the only place you can go is the post office. Okay. Mm-hmm. And not every post office does them. Like there's a post office in Mount Holly, but they don't do passports. So the Gastonia, you remember when we got our passport cards and we went in Gastonia and we sat for hours.
Yes.
And I thought we just did walk-ins. Your father said we had an appointment. I don't think we had an appointment because I think he's remembering badly because we sat there a long time.
We sat there for a long time.
So I looked now you can go online and look and see who's got availabilities and make your appointment online and all that other stuff. You know, gotta love the pandemic. But basically, we had to go to Maiden, which is a little town about 30 minutes away, because Huntersville was full, Gastonia was full, Charlotte was full, because he wanted to get them in time and have the passports get back to us in time for the cruise in September. And it can take, 6 to 8 weeks. So we didn't want to,
push it. Yeah.
Push it. And we didn't want to pay $60 per person for expedited processing. So, and, your Aunt Connie had to get one too. And her birth certificate
is crumbling into dust.
And so, but we got we made Maiden. Apparently nobody goes to Maiden for their passports, because the day that I booked the appointment, we could have went that afternoon.
Oh,
because I booked it in April. They were just wide open. You want to come now? Because we are.
You want to come? You want to see the sights? We'll give you sandwiches. Does no one go to that town?
Yeah, you drive through Maiden, you see why. There's nothing there.
Oh, okay.
There's really nothing there. But the lady was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
They also do the pictures for you, which again, you can tell it's a small town, because they just like take you back in the storeroom where they've got a corner and a little white sheet hanging up on some boxes, and they take your picture. But the pictures turned out very good. The picture looks way better than my state ID picture. But anyway, all that's done. So we should get our passports before the cruise. If we don't get our passports before the cruise, it's still okay. I'm telling myself, we're not going to stress. It's still okay, because
everybody's got their birth certificates.
We still have our birth certificates. We can still get on the cruise with our birth certificates. It's just, but they reminded me, because your father and the lady at the place were talking back and forth. Your father wanted to get it because just in case there's an emergency, somebody gets sick or whatever, we can fly back. Because if you have just the passport card or your birth certificate, you can't fly back from a foreign country. So and somehow he got it in his head that we need to go ahead and get this done. Sometimes you have a premonition about stuff or whatever. So yeah. I guess that's what he was feeling. So he just one day said, we got to get this done right now. So we did. But then while they were talking at the post office, he reminded me that the lines for the passport are short. You know how we go through all those lines to show our and V confirmed it too, because V is trying to get Sydney and her mother to get their passports before we go, because V has a passport, and V said there's nobody in the passport line. You practically don't have to stop. Just hold up that passport and walk on through.
How much do the passports cost? I might get a passport.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to do the math in my head, because it's 2 separate fees altogether. It's like $180. Yeah,
I may just show up with my birth certificate. It depends. I mean, if I can have another banger festival, then maybe. Oh, I already said 130. So
it's $130 for the passport. That's what you have to. You have to write a check for $130 to send for the passport. But then you have to pay the post office people $35 for processing the application and mailing it off for you. And if you need your picture taken, which they also do pictures at that post office, so we didn't have to go to AAA to get our pictures like we did the first time. So that's another $15 for the picture.
Okay.
Which this guy, again, looked like he was using his camera from home to take that picture. But it's a good picture.
Yeah, I might just stick with my birth certificate this time, maybe next time.
But, yeah. And then it's $60 if you want to expedite it and get it more quickly.
Can I do that on PayPal Pay in 4? Can we Klarna that?
Yeah, once we get it done, now you can get it renewed. You can get it renewed through the mail. After that, it's just doing all that stuff the first time is a hassle. Making because you have to you have to fill out the application, which is not that difficult, but the application wants to know, all your information. Have you had any other names? Have you been married or divorced? What is your mother's name and your mother's date of birth, and where was your mother born? What was your father's name, father's date of birth? Which is easy for you because you know your parents.
I do.
Some people don't know all that information.
This feels like information I need.
Then you have to have a copy of you have to have your original birth certificate and your original driver's license or state ID. Then you have to make a copy of your state ID and a copy of your birth certificate.
I have to make the copy, or
you have to make the copy.
So I gotta go to the library.
Luckily, I have a copier / printer sitting right here, so you have to make the copy. And then you take all that up to the place along with the fees. And then they look at all of it, put it together. They take your original birth certificate and your copy, which I thought they just needed the original birth certificate so they could look at it and verify that they looked at it and then send the copy. No, they take the original and the copy, and then they're going to send the original back.
If I'm sending my original, why do you need the copy? You're already there in your office. Why can you not make the copy? If what is the point of me making the copy if you're going to take my original anyway?
I know. I thought it was bad enough that we had to make the copies, but it's like, okay, I guess I understand. But them taking the original birth certificate, it's like, I thought you just needed to see because they look at the driver's license and then they give you back your driver's license.
Yes.
So it's like, why do you need to take the birth certificate? They looked at the birth certificate too. So why did you need to take the birth certificate?
I don't understand. The government.
But anyway, so we did that. So once we got that, for some reason in my head, I was stressing about all the things I had to do this month, getting the my teeth done, because I also had to get some credit for the teeth to pay for the teeth. I had to get a payment plan for the teeth, which means I had to call people. I don't like to call people. And so that stressed me out, but I got that all taken care of. Oh, and it turned out I went to the dentist and gave them, because it was like $1,900. They told me it was $1,900, and then they told me, $209 to renew the passport. Oh my God.
Wild.
So that means, since you're renewing your passport, that means you're definitely coming with us on the cruise, right, Ari?
Was it way out of date? Is that why it cost so much? Why is it anyway? Continue. So you had $1,900, dentist.
So I got the care credit. They approved me for $2,200 to pay for my visit. Okay. I called the dentist. They say, okay, the visit's going to be $1,900, but $1,500 if you with insurance. I'm like, okay, good. I go in, I get all my work done, hand her the card, and she goes, okay, it's going to be $1,900. I'm like, okay, I guess. And the dentist had just said, well, you've used up all your insurance stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you want to get this other tooth down here, it's going to be this much and this much. So I assumed when she told me $1,900, I guess, okay, well, I guess I used up all my insurance. Okay. Then they called me back the next day. I almost didn't answer the phone, but I've gotten comfortable enough with these ladies. I've been taking them books after I finished reading them and stuff. So I've gotten comfortable enough with these ladies that I don't get quite as stressed talking to them over the phone. I know it's a weird thing, but there it is. So I picked up the phone when they called, when normally I would ignore it. And they said, oh, we just need to get your care credit number again to run through, because I didn't realize, but you had a $618 credit on your account with us, and so we need to change how much we charged you on the card. So we need the card again. So now my visit was only like $1,200,
which is good. It's like almost 9 months rent.
So now I just have $1,200 to pay off, instead of $1,900 off of the card, which is good because that leaves room on the card if I have to get this last tooth pulled or get another crown. At least I've got room on the card. I'm trying to hold out till we pay off more, because it's like $900 to get a crown or about $250 for them to just pull it. But like I have almost no teeth over here. If I start pulling teeth over here, I'm going to be just living on smoothies for the rest of my life, because I ain't going to have nothing to chew on. So I want to try to get a crown. So if I can pay off more on this card to where I have at least $900 worth of credit, then I can get a crown.
Okay.
Without having to wait till, if I can make it to January, that would be ideal, because then I have more credit on my, not credit, but my insurance. My dental insurance starts over for the year. I've used up this year's dental benefits, but my benefits will start up again in January, and then I could go ahead and get the crown on my benefits. So I'd rather do that.
Yes, said he's trying his darndest.
He's trying his darndest. You expedited. Also,
can we circle back around? You said earlier you were going to explain my father was in a sideswipe accident or something. What happened earlier?
He had to get his badge redone for work. And so he had to come home and get his passport. So he came home to get his passport, and then he, on his way back to work, as he was at the airport, at the, like at the areas where you pull up to drop people off at the airport, the drop off, so the pickup areas, somebody, like, this is him, and somebody came, and this is the passenger side of the car. Somebody came and hit the passenger side of the car and kept on going.
And kept going?
Kept on going.
Did he get their license plate?
I think he did. Honestly, I missed some of this because, again, we were playing games, and so I was listening to them and trying to listen to him at the same time. But several people witnessed this guy hitting him.
So somebody probably got the license plate, and
their
cameras.
Somebody got the license plate or what? Anyway, somehow he ended up back. The guy ended up. Somehow him and Daddy ended up face again. I don't know if the cop stopped him and told him to come back or whatever. But as soon as the guy got out of the car, he came up. I know, Ari, I'm awful. He came up to Daddy and immediately started yelling at him about, because like Daddy said that he was going to. I need to stop calling him Daddy. He is not my father.
He is my father, though.
Okay, Poppy. Okay.
My father.
I try to say Poppy. I type Poppy in text, but me saying Poppy out loud sounds so weird. So I can't do that either. So, your father.
My father.
Because he was going to let it go. Because it was like the passenger door, it was kind of like just like a dent or a ding or whatever. Yeah. So he was just going to go and take care of it, right? Get it popped out.
But the guy came and got all up in his face?
Because he was trying to go back to work and take care of things. So he was just going to let it slide. But the guy came back and got all in his face about how Daddy hit him. And he was like,
at a standstill?
No. Exactly. and Daddy was like, oh, hell no. You are not going to do all this and blah, blah,
with
blah,
witnesses?
Blah, blah, blah. and then a couple other ladies came up and was like, oh yeah, no, we saw him. And yes, we will definitely, say to the police, we saw that he hit you and this and this and this and this. So luckily it was on the passenger side. Your father did not get hurt. Okay. You did have to get in this altercation with this guy. And now the window won't roll up and down on the passenger side. But
that's how my driver's side window is. My driver's side window never has.
But other than that, it's all good. And you know your father, my husband believes in having an extra car available just in case. Even though I don't drive, it would be different. It would be different if I drove too. Then it would make sense that we have 2 cars. But I don't drive. We just have always had an extra car just in case. And so he's got an extra car out there. So I don't know if I get confused about which car is which. So I don't know if the car that got hit was the newer car or the older car. But both cars are in good working condition. So both cars
it was just cosmetic. It wasn't.
And both cars are paid for, so we don't have car payments. So it was the old car that got hit. Okay. So your brother's confirming it was the old car that got hit.
Okay.
Because he drives the old car to work more often than the new car.
Okay. Well, as long as everybody's okay. And
everybody's okay.
The audacity of that man with witnesses and everything.
I feel bad that I was not totally catching what he was saying. And to be honest, even if I wasn't playing games, I probably would not remember what he said from yesterday because my memory these days is not as good. So I probably would not remember anyway. Ari said hi, Isaac. So you watched the trashy reality show?
I did.
It wasn't reality, but
it was the trashy drama show.
Okay, so those who weren't here before, a few weeks ago, I had TikTok was serving me these. Apparently, there's a new thing in entertainment or whatever where they have these stories where they serve the stories to you at 1 minute at a time, or just like in 90, what am I trying to say? 90 seconds? Not 90 seconds.
Yeah, a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
A minute and a half is 90 seconds, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's why it sounds too short though. But yeah, 90 seconds, like in 90-second chunks. Minute and a half, 2 minutes. And the stories are so cheesy.
So dramatic.
So cheesy.
So ridiculous.
Like that, but they give you like no backstory. They just give you all the highlights of the drama with no backstory. So
they cut out all the filler. It's like if you were watching a drama or a telenovela or something, and they cut out any filler parts of like, oh, we're going to school, oh, we're going to work, oh, and they cut to every single dramatic part. And that is the entire show. So I'm gonna do like what we did for not Criminal Minds, but for 911 Lone Star. Which, by the way, tell me why we watched 911 Lone Star. This is a full sidebar. We watched 911 Lone Star, and then and I'm like, oh man, this is over. I wish I could watch more 911 Lone Star. And I come in and Wayne is playing a video game, and tell me why I see Gina Torres's whole face up on this video game. Hang on, let me pull it up.
What video game?
I can't remember. I need to ask him what game it was. But it is straight up just her. Hang on.
Is it one of those hidden object games where you're supposed to be solving the murder?
No, it's a game. Hang on. Let me share my screen. Okay, so that's a bad picture, but that is Gina Torres' whole face.
Oh, it is.
And it was her voice and everything. It was Gina Torres.
Oh my goodness.
I walked in, I was like, what? Ari, what game is this? Ari, do you know what game is this? And there's this man was also there. I was trying to get a picture of her and she popped off the screen. I don't know what game it was. But anyway, so the drama show. So it starts off with main girl going in to her father, the father who helped conceive her, and saying, hey, I'm so sorry to have to ask you this, my millionaire papa who left us. Can you please help pay for my mother's medical bills, the woman who you conceived me with? Because she is sick and dying in the hospital. And
Could it be
I think
Destiny? Could it be Destiny 2?
I don't think no, because he can't run Destiny 2 on his Xbox anymore. So it's not Destiny 2. That was a different character that she played.
Could it be the original Destiny?
No, because I would recognize both of those games. It was not those. So she goes and she's like, "Rich Papa, can you please help
Mortals
pay for
of
my mother's
Avium?
I don't know. That I don't know. Hang on. Let me go holler at Wayne and ask him while we're having this
because an actress that we like is in the game, and I was trying to look. I'm looking at the games that she's been in to see which one it could be that runs on his system. So this one is on.
You're right. It was Immortals of Avium.
Okay. Okay.
So that mystery has been solved. But so she comes and says, "Can you pay for my mother's medical bills?" And he's like, "Well, the father in this whole show is a punk.
Black lady.
He is an absolute punk the entire time because he's like, oh well, my daughter that I love, I could." And then his new wife steps in and is like, "Bitch, what you think? Like, absolutely not. What do you think this? No." And so she's like, "Well, she is his ex-wife, and it's my mother. He would be helping out me, his daughter." And she's like, no, we don't give handouts. No, you may as well not be family. No. And then the second daughter, so that would be her half sister. Okay, the half sister comes in and is like, "Actually, Papa, you know what we could do? We could pay her. We could give her the money for the medical bills, and she can marry that oaf of a man that I."
Although I think that might be a stepsister. I think that might be the evil stepmother's daughter.
They
from
look
the
too similar
marriage because they look too close. They look too close in age.
They do look very close in age. So I guess it just depends on when he left. Because I was like, oh, this man is just shooting out blonde hair, blue eyed girls. Because the two daughters looked very similar. But anyway, she's like, actually, she can marry this oaf of man that I'm supposed to be marrying. He's in jail. But he is the bastard child of such and such family. And so the mother-in-law
there's no explanation why she's got to marry this guy.
No, we don't find that out until later that they made some sort of business deal or something.
Some sort of business deal because they've never seen each other because he gets to the altar and is like not even surprised.
No, yeah, so she's like, okay, I'll marry this man and you'll pay the medical bills. And they're like, yes. And so bam, jump cut to the wedding. She's standing on the altar and they're like, oh, your husband isn't even showing up on time for your wedding. Oh. And so he shows and the half sister or whatever is like, and I heard that he's butt ugly. And then he shows up and of course he's like cut jawline, like handsome man in a suit, fixing his tie or whatever. And the half sister storms off, upset that he's not ugly.
I did. I showed you one clip of the video. Yeah, like the first minute and a half or whatever it was.
So she storms off, upset that he's not ugly, and he shows up and he's like, oh, I didn't realize he had two daughters. I thought I was marrying that bitch. And she's like, nope, you're marrying me. And he's like, okay. And so, bam, they get married. And then they go to his house, which is this tiny little house. Ari said he saw the whole thing. So they go to his house.
Watched the whole thing.
So they go to his house, which is like a tiny little house. And he secretly, all in the background, over and over in the background, he's talking to some guy who's like, yes, boss, of course, boss, absolutely, whatever you say, boss. So he clearly has some machinations going on in the background and has more money than he is letting on.
And his assistant has the worst clothes. It's like, do you not iron your clothes or anything?
Right. So weird. But he is like the black sheep of this big family who is refusing to give him his inheritance or whatever, but he secretly has his own machinations going on the side. So they're in this little house and he's like, so I just need to be married long enough to be able to get my inheritance. So we can pretend and then we can get a divorce later when I get my inheritance. And she's like, okay. And so they like go agree to pretend to be married. And she then goes
the thing about these stories that I have to say is, the thing about these stories is that you have to kind of fill in the blanks a lot, because they are giving you the high points. And if you, like me, I read a lot of romances and stuff, and so I've read a lot of the marriage of convenience, fake dating type situation. I gotta marry to get my inheritance kind of thing. So even before he said it, I kind of filled that in my head. And that's the only thing that makes these things fun to watch. If this had been like 10, 15 years ago, before I was really watching a lot of romance, I would not have known. I wouldn't have known the tropes to fill in the blanks, and I would be totally confused. But these are much more enjoyable if you know the tropes. But go ahead.
Yeah. So she goes to return her wedding dress because it was a rental. She returns the wedding dress and the shoes. And she goes to the boutique and she's like, hey, I want to return these. And the lady, like the assistant lady there, takes the shoes out of the box and she's like, oh no, you have to pay a restoration fee. These are too busted up. You're going to have to pay $500. And she's like, $500? It's a rental. They're going to get worn. And she's like, these are designer. And she's like, well, for $500, I might as well buy a new pair of shoes. And she's like, oh, you want to buy a new pair of shoes? Okay, you can buy these shoes. They're $900. And she's like, $900 for a pair of shoes? And so he comes in, because he's just like following her weirdly. He's just following her around. And so he walks into the room and he's like, how dare you talk to my wife like that? Why don't you get her those shoes over there? And she's like, excuse me, sir. Those shoes are like $9,000 or something, $7,000. It was $7,000. Those shoes are $7,000. And he's like, okay, I say get my wife the shoes. And she's like, oh yes, sir, right away, sir. I didn't realize you had money. And so she sits them down on the couch, gives each of them a champagne, and is like, here are the shoes. And so the girl is like holding the champagne in one hand and holding the shoe in the other hand, and is like trying to. If you're gonna offer people champagne, why is there not a table for you to sit them down? So she's like holding the champagne, trying to find somewhere to put the champagne down so she can try the shoe. And the man's like, you're just gonna let her sit there and struggle? Put the shoe on her foot. And she's like,
I did not like that part. That was like, okay, you're just being rude, sir.
Oh, I like that part because she was being rude to her earlier. She's like, because she definitely did not need to have that kind of attitude when she was returning stuff. So I was like, that's what you get for having an attitude. Touch this woman's foot. So she like puts the shoe on her and she's like, oh, it's a perfect fit. And so he gets her those shoes. And so they go home and she's like, thank you. That was really sweet. Don't ever do that again. I see the kind of house we're living in. I know what your life situation is. We don't have $7,000 to just blow away. Don't do that. And he's like, okay, whatever. And she's like, don't worry. Soon I'll be able to like help and afford and pay for things. So I'm like applying to these jobs and I'm supposed to be here and back. So we should. And there's this big company that she really wants to work for called BM. And her friend helps get her an interview. She goes to the interview. Turns out the interviewee is the fiance of another man who works there, who when they were in college was all over her and she didn't want anything to do with him. The main girl. He was all over the main girl, didn't want anything to do with him. And so now this other girl is petty because he didn't want her first, I guess. Or because he used to like her. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. Because like, okay, so he used to like this girl, and then she said no, and so he's like, okay, and then he found you, so now you guys are engaged. Why are you still upset at this other girl?
Exactly. Sometimes people are just petty that way. Ari, I mean, you keep talking, Maya, but I want Ari to say in the comments what he thought of this show that I sent him, since he did watch the whole thing. But go ahead.
So, yeah. So she goes to this interview and is like, hi, Sarah or Susie or whatever that girl's name is. And she's like, oh, good to see you. And I heard you just recently got married, but wasn't he in jail? It's okay. I looked at your resume. Actually, you're not qualified for the job. And she's like, but it's an entry-level position. No experience. And she's like, no. You see her clothes. You can't look like that to this job. Get out of here, you poor. And so she gets kicked out of this interview and she goes to like have drinks with her friend. And she's like, she was never going to give me a good interview. And the friend's like, I am so sorry. I will help you find another, like the friend coming in clutch, honestly. She's like, I'm so sorry. I will help you find another interview. And then, she's trying to figure out what to do about the medical bills because the mother has had the procedure. She's just in severe debt because of the medical bills. And so she goes to, she's like, I need to find a way to pay off some of these bills. She's like, oh, I can go pawn the $7,000 shoes that my husband just got me. And so she goes to some pawn shop, and this guy's like, good shoes, never worn, they look good. I give you $500. Or no, I give you $2,000. And she's like, $2,000? They're brand new and unworn. They were $7,000. And he's like, I can give you what I give you. And she's like, and then she remembers like some moments that she had with her fake husband and was like, and he was being so nice or whatever. It was like 2 clips that were like 2 seconds each because they did not show them having any time together. And so she's like, actually, he was very nice to me. I'll hold on to these shoes. And she's like, actually, I don't want to do it. And she goes, walk away. He's like, $3,000. And she's like, no, it's not the money. I just changed my mind. It's I have an attachment to this. I changed my mind. And he's like, oh, so you come in here to waste my time? Get out. And so she goes to leave. And
see, that's another one where it's like, you are just overreacting, sir.
Exactly. Like, I'm sure people come in and out of your store all the time. What were you doing before she got here? Standing there. What are you doing after she leaves? Standing there. There was no one in your shop. Calm down. So he calls his buddies and is like, I need you to do something for me, but in a Russian accent. And so she's walking home with her box of $7,000 shoes, and all of a sudden these thugs roll up and they're like, give me your shoes. And the other thug is like, let's have some fun with her. And the one thug is like, we weren't supposed to be doing that. And he's like, I know, but she's hot. And so they like push her. And then all of a sudden the husband, who again has been stalking her this whole time because he watched her try to pawn the shoes and then change her mind. And he's like, oh, she must have some stuff going on. So he shows up and he's like, how dare you? And then turns out he's trained in Kung Fu or something and kicks their butts.
Which is crazy.
Yes, and kicks their butts. And it's like, how dare you lay a hand on my wife, blah, blah, blah. Who sent you? And then finds out that it's the Russian man that owns the pawn shop. And he's like, all right, I'm going to have some words with him. And so it's a lot of back and forth. We basically, to shorten it up, we find out that the reason that he has all this secret money, he finds out that she is having money troubles. So he's like, okay, you really need to get a job. Let's move to the penthouse in the city. She's like, penthouse in the city? He's like, yeah, I have a friend who wanted me to house it for him. It's secretly, obviously, his penthouse. He's lying so they can go move to the city and live in his nice penthouse. They go to the penthouse and he's like, what's going on with your money troubles? And she's like, my mom is in the hospital. I needed the help, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm your husband. Why don't you come to me for help? And she's like, it was a fake marriage. You said that in the beginning. And he's like, actually, I'm so sorry. Forget everything that I said about that. You can rely on me. And she's like, okay. And then I think they snog or something. And so then all of a sudden she's out drinking with her friend, and her friend gets a call back from BM that is like, oh my goodness, you got the job. And she's like, got the job, which I feel like they should have reacted much differently to that because she was fully turned down for that position. And then all of a sudden got the position. So I feel like they should have had more of a reaction to that, but whatever. So we find out that the husband, who's the black sheep of the other family, is actually secretly the owner of this multi-million-dollar company. And because everybody's like, oh, the owner is so mysterious. His name is Bash Myers, but he never shows his face. The owner's name is Bash Myers. Her husband's name is like Sebastian something. But we never put that together. So
and you have a great memory that you're remembering all this.
I just watched it like 2 days ago. I watched it the day before yesterday.
2 days ago, I forget stuff I read yesterday.
I know I'm forgetting some things, but I watched it all in one go. It was so chaotic. So she gets the job there, but obviously so what is going on in the company, just to clear that up, is that Sebastian, her husband, owns the company. He is the full owner of this company. They're doing some machinations of selling and stockholders and stuff so that he can have the company and also like buy out his family or whatever, blah, blah, blah. His assistant, Daniel or something, we're going to call him Daniel. His assistant, Daniel, the one who keeps saying, yes, boss, of course, boss, absolutely, boss, the one with the wrinkly suits. He is the like
figurehead.
Thank you. He's the figurehead of the company. So he is the one, like, anytime somebody's like, I need to speak to the boss of the company, he's the one that people talk to, but the person who actually owns the company is Sebastian. So she goes to work for this company, and she shows up on her first day, and she's like, and the mean girl is like, okay, so you need to be able to, if you can't get any calls in the first week, you're going to be fired. Have at it. Bam. And then drops a bunch of stuff on her desk. She specifically said, I don't know whose dick you had to suck to get here, but if you don't make any calls within the first week that you're fired or whatever. And so she drops that on the table. And they looked it up, and her thing came directly from.
And I'm not a prude, but some of the things that they get away with saying on these shows, I'm like, because I'm still from the age where you could barely curse on regular TV, and when you watch stuff on cable, you're like, ooh, they said a word, ooh. So I'm still, it still gets me when I watch something and they're very plain like that,
just right out. There was also, so she's working at the job. We're going to cut back like maybe two 90-minute clips. The dad, who is an absolute puss, was supposed to pay for the mother's medical bills, but still has not. So she goes to the dad's house and runs into the stepmother or the mother-in-law. What is she? I guess she would be stepmother.
Her stepmother.
Yeah, her stepmother. She runs into her stepmother and is like, hey, I married him. Why have you guys not paid the bill? I just got a notification the bill still hasn't been paid. And she's like, oh, I said we would pay the bill. I didn't say when. And she's like, I need you to pay the bill now. I'm drowning in debt. She said the phrase drowning in debt 700 times. I'm drowning in debt. I need you to pay the bill now. And she's, wow, how dare you speak to me like that in my house? Get out of here. And so she leaves the house. She comes home to Sebastian. Sebastian's like, what happened to you? And she's like, I ran into a door. And he's like, absolutely not. And so he gets his assistant Daniel to look at the traffic cams. He's like, oh, so she went to her family's house and got hit and then they like find out all about trying to pay the medical bills or whatever. So he starts putting like all kinds of liens and stuff on her father's company, like starts causing trouble over there to like mess up his company. With their millions of dollars that he refuses to spend on medical debt because he's a wuss. So cut forward, she's working at the job. She shows up for like day 2 or 3 or whatever the job. No concept of time in the show. She shows up for day 2 or 3 or whatever at the job. And she's like, it's 9 a.m. Why are you just not getting here? And she's like, it's 8:57. What are you doing just not getting here? And she's like, because work starts at 9. And the mean girl's like, oh, when I first started here, I showed up early and got everybody coffee. And she's like, okay, if you want me to get you a coffee, just say so. What do you want? And she's like, oh, not just me. You have to get a coffee for all the hardworking people in this office, including like manager Daniel. And so she's like, okay. So she's like, here's the list. And so she text messages her a list of the coffee orders of everybody in the office. So she gets all the things and she's like, oh, it looks like you got Daniel an Americano. He doesn't drink this. And she's like, that's what it says in the text message. She's like, no, his favorite is hazelnut. You need to go make them remake this. And she's like, what? And she's like, yeah, this is going to be the only chance that you get to see the manager of the job and have him see your worthless ass. So go remake his coffee and bring it to him directly. And so she goes and redoes it, makes it hazelnut, takes it to him. He takes half a sip or whatever and is like, yeah, but her husband Sebastian is in the room talking to him because of course he owns the company. And so she goes and brings the coffee and is like, oh, thank you. And he's like pretending to be the head. And she's like, I didn't know you were applying for a job here. And Sebastian is like, yeah, I didn't want to tell you until it was a sure thing, but we're trying to sort it out right now. And then Daniel's like, oh, thank you for the coffee. I didn't really need any, but thank you. And he takes like half a sip or something. And then, anyway, it gets outed that he has hazelnut coffee. Turns out he is deathly allergic to hazelnuts. So she's like running, grabs the EpiPen, gets him or whatever. And then the mean girl, cut to the next clip. The mean girl is like standing over him, fanning him and like getting him water. And her like fiance or whatever, who also still came on to the main girl because he clearly still likes her. And it's like, oh, if you want to get anywhere in this company, you and I should talk, blah, blah, blah. So she's like saying, she's like, Manager Daniel, she tried to poison you. She tried to kill you. We can't have anybody who's that careless and dangerous and evil in this company. She should be fired. And she's like, and the other girl's like,
I want to smack her.
Yes. And she's like, you told me to get the hazelnut coffee. And she's like, no, manager Daniel, look, I texted her right here. You want an Americano. And she's like, no, you told me he doesn't drink Americano. I had to go get it remade to get a hazelnut. That's what you told me. And so she's like, we can't have anybody this evil working at the company. Fire her. And then the manager Daniel like takes a breath and like stands up and is like, you know what? You're right. We can't have anybody this evil working at the company. Tiffany, you're fired. So she's like, but what? But I didn't. But it was and it has this whole big like meltdown and runs away. And then she's like, and then the boyfriend's like, or the fiance is like, just so you know, I had nothing to do with any of that. Like being an absolute punk. Oh, it is a lot, Ronald. It is a lot. He was being an absolute punk. And so basically
it's a lot, and it's all in like 90 I'm telling you, every 90 seconds is high drama. There's no filler at all in this show. Every 90 seconds is high drama. And these are apparently popular.
Yes. I mean, I would watch another 2 or 3 one of those. I was just
I already have one lined up. As soon as I find, because TikTok fed me another one that was a good one, but I haven't bothered to look to see if I can find one, because these are on a service where they give you the first 10 things and then you gotta start paying for them. But yes, I was not crazy about the winner of the circle either, Ronald. I was not really crazy about any of the contestants that were on there. I liked the one girl who I liked both of the country girls that got voted off. And I was not happy that they got voted off. I kind of liked the girl who was the streamer who everybody kept thinking that she was not real, Lauren. They kept thinking, you can't be that nice. You can't be that nice. I liked her too. But as evidenced by what I said earlier, that my memory is bad, I can't. Okay, I do remember who won now. I can't remember who was second place though. Yes, I do. I remember who was second place. Okay. I'm not going to say it just in case somebody's watching and they don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, I would have preferred the second place person to win the circle. But overall, I was not crazy about the lineup of contestants altogether. And I was not crazy about that Michelle Buteau was not there for the finale part where all the old contestants came back and stuff like that. Usually she's there. And I'm wondering if she wasn't there because she was filming something else, because I know she's got another movie coming out. So I wonder if she was like busy filming something and she just did voiceovers, you know, for the thing, because she wasn't there. Because it's much more interesting when she's there for the thing. So yeah, but I'm still a fan of the show. If they bring another one, I'm going to watch it. Because as far as reality shows, I prefer that over. There's still several episodes of Too Hot to Handle that I haven't watched. I mean, several seasons of Too Hot to Handle that I haven't watched.
That show is just the premise of that show is so silly.
It is. I just don't have the patience for, I mean, sometimes I'm in the mood for something that trashy, but I don't, overall, I get tired of it.
Yeah. Because you can only watch it in like little bits.
Yeah, you know, I'll binge a season and then I need, whereas most shows I'm like, oh no, it's taking too long between seasons. For Too Hot to Handle, I need that break, because I keep thinking to myself, because the whole premise of it is, oh my God, I can't do without sex for even a week. And I'm like, please. Right?
Especially for thousands of dollars. Wild.
Really, please.
So,
yes,
I know it's past noon.
Yeah. It's past noon. You need to go take your people to work, don't you?
Let me finish my wrap up of the show. We got it all the way into it. Let me finish. I turned on the rock music, but I'm gonna finish up the wrap up of the show. So Sebastian, the owner of the company, Bash Myers, keeps trying to tell his wife that he is the owner of the company and that's why he's doing all these things and that's why they have this money or whatever. And it just keeps not quite working out. And so he doesn't end up telling her. And then he is like outside of the company talking to Daniel and is like basically saying, I am the owner of Bash Myers, and once I, Bash Myers, the owner of BM, figures out how to put all of my pieces in place, then Bash Myers, the owner of BM, will be able to solve this problem, and then everything will be fine. And the stepsister films it because he paid off her mother's medical debt under her father's name. She would say, thank you, Papa, for paying off my mother's medical bills. And the stepmother was there, was like, he better not have paid your medical bills. We didn't do that. Get out of here. And so they were like, did he pay her medical bills? Is he talking to his ex-wife again? Is he being even a little bit amicable to his ex-wife? How dare he? Let me look this up. And so they look it up and find out what happened. And so she gets the clip, and then she invites him to a hotel or whatever, drugs him, and takes some like salacious pictures with him. And the stepmother comes to the house and is like, he don't love you, look at this, and has the salacious pictures of him and the stepsister. And she's like, and he shows up at the house, she's packing up her stuff, and she's like, nah, I'm getting out. And he's like, no, wait, I have to explain. And she's like, explain what? You're Bash Myers. That explains his house, that explains all this. I'm like, ma'am, how did you make this sound like, I know we gotta go. How did you make this sound like you figured this out on your own when your mother explained it to you? She's like, and the most obvious thing was this penthouse. And I'm like, you've been living in this penthouse for weeks. You had no clue until somebody showed you those pictures. Anyway, and he's like, no, but she tricked me. And she's like, no, I knew that she tricked you. I'm just upset that you didn't tell me the truth. And so she's leaving on that premise alone for some reason. She goes to visit her mom, and she's like, hey, Mom. How are you doing? Yeah, things are good.
I see this with Mom.
Yes, in the penultimate 90-minute clip, we see the mother for the first time, and she's like, "Oh, can you turn the news up?" And she turns the news up. All of his pieces fell into place. He like blackmailed some shareholders, bought the last shares of a company, got his inheritance or whatever, and basically like took over his father's company because he was the black sheep. So his father owned the company that is his last name or whatever. His mother, like they abandoned her or whatever, and then she passed away. And so he, under his mother's name, bought out his father's company with his new big company. And
yeah, basically they front load these shows with all the drama, and then in like the last 2 minutes you get all the explanation about the background.
Yes, so he bought his father's company like under his mother's name to like avenge her or whatever. He also ruined main girl's father's company, and so we have a clip of them in the house, and they're like, no, not the coffee table, and the moving people are taking the coffee table, and manager Daniel is there, is like, I'm so sorry, sir, we need to take all of this stuff to pay off your debts because you didn't pay off your loans in time. And then the stepmother goes to the father, is like, how could you let this happen? And he's like, bitch, how could I let this happen? You're the ones buying up all this stuff. I want a divorce. Get out of my face. And so he finally grows a pair and decides to divorce this woman that has been ruining his life. And then we cut to going back. The sick mother was like, turn up the news, and they're like, he bought this company, and she's like, that sweet boy finally did what he set out to do. And she's like, what? And she's like, when were you gonna tell me you were married? And she's like, and he's like, yeah, he paid the bill and then came and visited me and told me that he was trying to do all this stuff and then was gonna tell you afterwards. He just didn't want to stress you out. And she's like, huh. And so she still isn't set on it, has her little suitcase, and is going to her suitcase of like, I swear there must be like 5 clothes in that suitcase. It is so sorry. Has her little suitcase of everything she owns in the world apparently, and is going to leave, has her Uber called, and he's like, and she keeps having like these moments of like, the Uber man is my favorite. She has her little suitcase, and she's like, and he's like, do you want me to take the suitcase? And she's like, oh yes, and then hands him the suitcase, and she's like, and she's just standing there like daydreaming about all the time they sit together, and he's like, are you gonna get in the car? And she's like, I'm gonna get in the car. And then Sebastian like runs over, is like, no, wait, please, I'm so sorry that I lied to you. I just wanted to I was trying to make things easier, and I've always had to rely on myself, and I never had anybody with it, and blah, blah, blah. And so then they finally make up, and the Uber driver in the background was like, man, y'all gotta stop doing this romantic shit, making me take these suitcases back out of this car, call me across town so that I can drive you somewhere. It happens in the airport and the train, and y'all doing these romantic. No, I promise I won't ever leave you. How could you do this? Y'all gotta stop this shit. And he gets in his car, He was the best part of the whole show. The whole show, he was my favorite. And then they get married, and it's the end. And it was like the ending was lackluster. The exciting part was the whole show. The ending was lackluster. But
yeah.
Do you want to do our sign off?
Okay, sure. I guess I can do that. Let me get the banners up here. That's drama. I don't know if I can't remember which app I got that one off of, by the way, while I'm getting our things up. But one of the apps that does those is called Drama Box. They're all equal. Whichever app you go with, they're all equally cheesy and funny, and just if you just want something fun to watch on your phone, Drama Box is one example. But anyway, this has been the Coffee Klatsch. Thank you for joining us. We hope that we made your last couple hours tolerable for whatever tasks that you had to do today. If you like this, then hit the like button. If you want to know when we do this again, then hit subscribe. If you want to get a little email or whatever telling you that we've gone live, then hit the notification bell. If you want to see what we've been talking about for the past year, you can go under the live tab on our Coffee Klatsch YouTube page and all of our past live streams, because we haven't gotten around to editing them down. All our past live streams are under the live tab rather than under the video tab, if you're wondering where.
I think we've got a playlist too, so you can just play them back to back to back.
Yep, we do. I do add them to a playlist, so there is a playlist. We will be back here on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time for Coffee Klatsch Playing Around, where we do a little bit of a few word games, maybe a board game arena game, you know, a little snack, something like that. But join us then if you'd like to. Bye.
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 Ending the stream. I got it.